Hello, my name is Tom Danley, and today I'll be showcasing the vibe coding applet I created modeling solid-state polymerization of recycled PET pellets. Specifically, I'll be analyzing the effects of temperature and pellet radius on whether the material is able to reach bottle grade quality. Recycled PET pellets have the intrinsic viscosity of roughly 0.55, and to reach bottle grade quality, this needs to be restored to at least 0.72. This is achieved through the solid-state polymerization process, which has many competing mechanisms, and the core challenge then is to understand the optimal process window for achieving bottle grade quality. So to do this, I created a model analyzing three competing mechanisms, including reaction kinetics, basically understanding the mobility of the polymer chains to react to form these ester bonds. And these ester bonds actually, when they are formed, they release ethylene glycol, which is a byproduct. And um, if this builds up too much within the pellet, this actually suppresses the forward reaction. So diffusion of ethylene glycol out of the system is very important to drive the forward reaction. So these two are more favorable at higher temperatures. However, reaching too high of temperatures leads to thermal degradation of these bonds. So to analyze this, I created a model. You have a spherical pellet using the method align strategy, using 15 discrete nodes to model the diffusion of the ethylene glycol out, and to also model all of these groups here to be able to calculate molecular weight and intrinsic viscosities. Through this process, I was able to create six processing diagrams of temperature versus pellet size and seeing how this evolves over time. We can see that increasing the temperature increases the intrinsic viscosity to a certain rate until thermal degradation kicks in. We also see that decreasing the pellet size is generally more favorable because this allows for better diffusion of the ethylene glycol out of the system. We can also see that this optimal process window increases as you give the process more time. I also have here some selected intrinsic viscosity versus time graphs of three different temperatures, showing how for each of them, lower pellet sizes lead to greater intrinsic viscosities, and how initially higher temperatures are more favorable. However, once thermal degradation kicks in, then we see there's an actual optimized Goldilocks temperature here that allows to pass the threshold. Now we'll go over to applet, the actual applet, where setting these initial conditions of temperature and pellet radius, we can see the intrinsic viscosity versus time graph for it, and we'll be able to see the diffusion of ethylene glycol out of the system, and we'll also be able to see how molecular weights vary throughout the pellet. So as we step every hour, again, we can see moving along the line, we can see the radial profile change. We can also see greater molecular weights on the outside due to the diffusion effects. If we increase the temperature, we can see how thermal degradation kicks in and actually lowers the intrinsic viscosity. And at too low of temperatures, there's just not enough mobility. You can also vary radius to kind of see, again, the effects of diffusion as well. I hope this was informative, and I would like to thank you for your time.